All right, even more videos are emerging of the Voice architect Marcia Langton accusing Australians of racism. Andrew, aren't these accusations of racism from Langton unhelpful to the Yes campaign 4 weeks out?
Well, we need to have a respectful debate about the Voice to Parliament referendum, and both sides need to be respectful. Now, we've seen regrettable comments from the No campaign chair, Gary Johns, who suggested that Indigenous people should be subject to blood testing, who said that we should have a national holiday to celebrate interracial marriages. This debate needs to be about the issues. It needs to be about what's best for Australia, not about attacks one way or the other. And for me, those issues are simple. The issue is that an Indigenous mum is 3 times more likely to die in childbirth than a non-Indigenous mum. There is nearly a 10-year gap in life expectancy between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. These are the issues that we need to be debating in this referendum, not attacks and not disrespectful language.
And those comments by Gary Johns were despicable. Bridget, Labor attacked the government today for exploiting fear. What's your response to the Sydney Morning Herald's report that the No campaign is using fear and emotion to win over undecided voters?
Yeah, I know the Prime Minister's office sent Jason Clare out quite early when these claims were being made, saying, these terrible people that believe in the No campaign, it's all a lie, there won't be reparations, etc., using fear to incite a no outcome. Well, you can't have it both ways. The government either wants to say that the Voice will make up its own advisory comments, it will give advice to government as it sees fit, or the Voice is an independent advisory body that will be making claims to the federal executive government. The reality is that over time, any voice that is set up through the Constitution will absolutely be making claims of reparations to a future federal government. And the current government can't rule out that they won't. By calling people liars doesn't make it a truth. I think we do have to have a respectful debate, but it also has to be one that is factual. And I think the government is doing everything it can, pulling out all stops, personal attacks at both a ministerial level and a community level, which is actually trying to, divide Australians more than they need to be. People need to make up their own minds in the privacy of the ballot box on the day, and they shouldn't be bullied by the federal government.
All right, very quickly before we go, Australia's new Productivity Commissioner, Danielle Wood, is calling in a personal capacity. She gave a speech on the 30th of August for the government to introduce inheritance taxes on retirees. She said there was simply no policy justification for how little tax retired Australians currently pay. It's interesting to note that this is a position the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese once agreed with back when he was Assistant General Secretary of New South Wales Labor in the early 1990s. Andrew, productivity growth is obviously so crucially important for Australia, but Danielle Wood has been speaking about other areas like inheritance taxes. Do you agree with her proposition that the wealthy pay too little tax at the end of their life?
Well, the government has no plans to introduce an inheritance tax, but Danielle Wood is a very good economist, and she makes an important point that we need to make sure that young people have a fair go in this country. And so the government is focused on that, and we're focused on that through the key issues of housing affordability and cost of living, making sure that we invest in housing so young people can afford a home, and making sure that we take the cost of living pressures off young people to make it that little bit easier for them.
All right, Bridget McKenzie, I'm sorry, we have run out of time. We will give you both in this panel, favourite panel of the week, more time next week. Bridget McKenzie, Andrew Charlton, thank you both so much.